This is the Negro Ninja, and I have been looking at videos on the rise of the lonely single man. And I think it's funny how they say that there's supposed to be more women than men, yet you see more single men than women. Okay, now they say the same BS in Atlanta, Georgia about women outnumbering men 12 to 1. And it's pretty strange because everywhere I look, I see a whore cuffed up. And these usually be the whores that you want, cuffed up with another dude, even though them Negroes is a rainbow zombie. Okay. Even though they are a rainbow zombie. Okay. Niggas will be cuffed up with a bitch, giving you that little DL look. You know, like how Michael Jackson do at the end of Thriller, when he's walking with the girl and he just turn around and say, ah. That's how them niggas be for real, like dead serious. Okay. And I actually made this a community post. Okay, and I want to read some of those posts before I give my opinion even more on this topic again. So the first comment that I see is from Shugo. And he says that he was pondering this himself the other day. They are either lying or they're messing with the same dudes. Every time you look at a chick, she dealing with at least 5+ other dudes if they ain't already taken. Now, this is also true. He said that he went to a gym the other day and the ratio for male to bitch, he said female, was 10 to 1. Okay, so I didn't quite understand what he meant by the ratio. So I said 10 females to 1 dude or 10 dudes to 1 female. And it deleted his comment, but he said he was talking about 10 dudes to 1 female. Then I basically told him my experience at Crunch Gym, which is pretty much the opposite of that. Like Crunch at Perimeter, because there are lots of hoes up there. And that's why them rainbow zombies be up there, because they know straight dudes be up there trying to look at these hoes. And they got like a Zumba class, so it's a lot of bitches up there. Sometimes the gym could be dang near filled with mostly women. Okay. Usually the girls will outnumber the guys, like 10 to 5 or something. Or, like I said, but when there's events going on, they can just flat out pack the gym. All right, and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit more after I read the comments. All right, and Slayer, let's see his other name. I don't know how to say it. Is it Orax? So he basically says, hold up, I lost it. Let me find it again. All right, so he says that most of the population is above the age of 40, so it skews the numbers. The demographic situation is bad. Less and less children are being born. Majority is just old people. And I've also heard that from somewhere else too. So out of all the comments that I can see, the final one is from John Paul Jones. And he says, hypergamy. Smaller number of dudes getting the most women. All right. Now about hypergamy, I really do believe that for real. But a lot of times I try to apply, these facts to what I see around me. And I do believe he's really correct, because hoes do a lot of stuff in secret. Okay, just like at a job, particularly like that one job I was at that I liked. It was that corporate job where there was a lot of girls in there. And a lot of them act like they don't have nothing going on, but they having sex up in there. Okay, especially the ones that say, well, you don't come to work to socialize. She say that, but she's sucking somebody's penis at the job. Okay, right after you leave that desk, they already set up plans in the parking lot, 8 p.m., even though you're supposed to show up at 12. My bad, I meant a.m., not p.m., Okay, but they are slick. It's always something going on because, another thing is, I've been watching a lot of interviews about prostitutes. And these videos prove yet again that a prostitute is really no different than a regular hoe, except she just decides that she want to make money from her coochie. That's the only difference. And I might do some breakdowns on those in a minute. But yeah, the hypergamy thing, it's, when you looking around you, you be like, oh, this broke nigga got a girlfriend. You see bombs with a girlfriend. Okay, but that's only just a piece of the illustration. Okay, that doesn't mean that they are faithful to these dudes. Like hoes have to, like once again, whoredom is all about running free and running wild. So they pick and choose. They're not going to really mess with dudes that's going to tie them down. They're not going to mess with dudes that they know they can get attached to. Okay. A horse sees herself like running water. The bitch doesn't want to get stale. That's the mindset. Now, I want to go back to the idea of there being more bitches than men. Okay, now, whether or not that's true, I still do not know. But God always gives you insight when you pay attention to situations that you see yourself in. There have been lots of times where I have been the minority and be like one of the only few dudes around some hoes. That doesn't mean that I was in paradise. In some cases, it was flat out hell because there was that many bitches, despite the fact that they like me and I'm the hot guy at the job or gym or etc. Okay, when one is in a vineyard, you expect to eat. Okay, you expect to eat from the garden. You expect to eat fruit from the trees. That's not how it is with hoes. Because when you stumble up on the vineyard, you got to think about who really owns that vineyard. Okay, you don't see the owner, but somebody owns it. Okay. Now I'm first to bring up old stories. These were something that I used to talk about before my original Negro Ninja channel got terminated by Rainbow Zombies and some fat loving, nigga that's essentially a Rainbow Zombie. And I was telling y'all about when I worked at that one warehouse job and I was just surrounded by hoes, it was like, let's say, I would say about 12-1 for the ratio of bitch to man. All right, so and once again I get all the attention. I'm the hot guy at the job. I'm the one that everybody just liked the most. Okay. But I didn't really get nothing. Somebody was like, all them hoes, you ain't getting none. Yeah, that's the devil. And it's a fact. I was in a vineyard, but who owned the vineyard? Two dykes. And nothing made sense until near the end. Okay, and that's when somebody revealed to me, oh, she smashed half of them. And she was just talking about one dyke who was a supervisor. Okay, dyke 1 and dyke 2 was both supervisors. Okay, that wasn't the main supervisors, but they were still over everybody that they was putting their tongue in. Okay. So that's why, I was complaining about being watched all the time by them in particular. Everybody, and they know everything. Okay, they know how many times a hoe's butt was looked at. Okay, they know which finger you looked at when she did like this to you. They had everything. Like they was on them bitches like inventory. Okay, and one dude had to warn me because he actually was successful in smashing one, and he wasn't there for long after that. He was like, "Bro, let me tell you something. You know, about these hoes. I smashed this one, and everybody knew. Watch out. I forgot the other details, but y'all gonna have to find them old videos. But he get fired just due to that, and they was already just harassing him and harassing him. He was like, "F y'all." They just got tired of it, and they just fired him because he got tired of the BS. But you could just see how that was, and they was all having sex with the same bitches. Whom are studs, by the way. Okay, which is even dumber because you got a real dude with muscles that actually look good and is masculine. And you go for a butch. Butches be looking nasty as heck a lot of times. Okay, why would a whore want a phallus that bleeds? That don't even make sense. And the bitches don't even got a phallus. And just for future reference, wherever you see a lot of holes, you best to believe there's probably more rainbow zombies than there should be there. Okay, it don't have to be 1,000 rainbow zombies. One rainbow zombie is a rainbow zombie too many. Okay, just like a mother effer going to the bathroom doing number two and not washing their hands. Maybe they didn't get a whole bunch of crap on their finger. Maybe they got microscopic crap. Okay, but they didn't wash their hands. That one little piece of microscopic crap is finna make everybody sick. All right, so at that gym, I was even hearing hoes basically talk about how many dudes they had to turn down. I had to turn down so many niggas. Okay, and they go up there just to be stared at too. So they'll give you the impression that you might be able to get them. So if you working out, what would you think if you just see 5, 10, 12 women come over there just because you over there and all do the most explicit butt exercises? Okay, then you leave, you go and stretch. Then they come over there and literally bend over in front of your face, touching their toe, like dead serious. I'm not making this up. I'm not even exaggerating. It can get that close. Okay, gets a holes I don't even know with niggas that they be walking with. They'll just stop and then just talk. I'm like, okay, I'm not finna tell her to move or nothing, whatever. Okay, so that's pretty much 90 something percent of the women that do stuff that pretty that flirtatious and bold. I would even say desperate. Okay, but did I pull 90% of them? Mm-mm. So what does that say? Is there something wrong with me, or is there something wrong with the hoes? The math ain't adding up. Okay, it just ain't. Then before I get to the real deep part of this message, let me tell y'all what happened. Um, since this was talked about so long ago anyway, at the same gym, one of my bros from high school was there. We was hitting the punching bags, and chicks just came all around getting on the exercise machines that they can, that's around the punching bag, so they just watch. I'm like, they really into that, bro. Look at this. We were just talking about the hoes being into it. So once we get done, I'm like, shoot, maybe we can, pull some of them. Now, once we get done, bitches just do like this. They're just looking at us like they was trying to get away, like, and then start walking out in front and said, bro, the pussy's escaping. He just bust out laughing. I'm like, you see what I'm talking about, bro? And we're just talking about how full of crap the girls are at that gym. There's so many of them, but none of them are fruitful. Okay. All right, just like some Alice in Wonderland stuff. You trying to eat you a cookie and the cookie's running away. You trying to bite into that apple, the apple's running away. It don't make any sense, even though the apple was over there. You look like you're hungry. You sure could use an apple. Okay. All right, since this is almost 14 minutes, let me try to get to the meat of it. Okay. Nothing makes sense. Now, why does nothing make sense? Because whores get too much for doing nothing. Remember, a whore was designed to be a helpmate. So you can say a bitch is supposed to be a tool made to make your life easier. Okay, a handyman wants tools to make his life easier. So did God create a tool for you to make the tool's life easier? Mm-mm. Okay, you're supposed to get use out of that tool, and the tool get happy that it's being used the way it's supposed to. But what niggas do is they decide to idolize the tool. Let me just put the screwdriver up here. Okay, and just bow down to the screwdriver. Okay. They leave it outside. They build the altar to it. It's raining, sleeting, and snoring. And guess what's happening to the tool? It's getting rusty. That's what these hoes are. They some rusty bitches. Okay, a hole is like a broken link in a chain. Imagine you trying to ride your bicycle and it just won't go because something is wrong with the chain. What do you do with that chain? You fix it. But these hoes don't want to be fixed. They can't be fixed. So you can just continue to ride the bike and it's just going to be more stressful. Okay, you going along. Hey, but it's better than not having a bike. No, it is not. Okay. Hoes get too much for nothing. Now, we can go back to the hypergamy stuff. Okay, they want dudes that can provide for them. They want a certain amount of money, a lifestyle, etc. All right. And once again, I learned this in high school. I'm like, dang, everybody get girlfriends in high school easily, but this bitch is telling me I need a job. This nigga ain't got one. Why you coming to me like nothing? Okay. And that's just the way it is. All right. Prostitution is really what this all is. Like Leviticus 19:29 said, do not profane your daughter by making her a prostitute. Now, is that not what fathers do to their kids? Their daughters, they make them prostitutes. He needs to spoil you. He needs to give you the world. Is that not what the mothers do? By telling them how to finesse niggas out of money. Okay, they never tell whores to just, do what you're called to do. Love a guy and make his life easier. They don't do that. They teach these bitches how to be prostitutes. Okay, so let me finish the rest. It said, at least the land fall into prostitution and the land become full of depravity. All right, so I'm going to read this again. Leviticus 19:29. Do not profane your daughter by making her a prostitute, lest the land fall into prostitution and the land become full of depravity. And we're going to look up that word depravity. Hold up. All right, the Google definition.
Depravity.
Moral corruption, wickedness, a wicked or morally corrupt act. But this is not really what I want to talk about. So instead, we're going to look up the definition of deprived. This is also the Google definition of
deprived.
Suffering a severe and damaging lack of basic material and cultural benefits. I don't even got to explain this. Okay, you don't even get a meaningful interaction from a bitch, even if you are giving her the money, due to prostitution. Okay, once again, remember a long time ago, I told y'all that these hoes were like an arcade machine. Okay, think about playing Metal Slug. It's so fun and interesting to watch the demo play. Look at this right here. You was a kid and you don't got no money, so you just like looking at it. I like watching this fun. Okay. Then when you pop in that quarter, it gets all animated. Metal Slug. And then all the rock music come on and etc. That's how a hoe is. Okay. And like a hoe, it's a very difficult game. The more quarters you put in, the longer you play, because you are going to die in that game. All right, let me read the second part of that deprived definition. It says, of a person suffering a lack of a specified benefit that is considered important. I was so sleep deprived, I was bumping into walls. Okay, it's the same thing because niggas do stupid stuff because they deprived. Okay, you put up with too much stupid stuff in general because you're deprived of these hoes. Or, you're deprived of the ones that you truly want. Because you can just try to get one just as, can't nobody say I don't got one. That's even worse than not having one. All right, remember the bicycle analogy with the broken chain. It just ain't worth it. All right, and another thing I want to point out, like people's opinion about Atlanta, I was suggested a lot of videos about why people moving out of Atlanta, people that move here and who's moving back to where they came from, why they hate Atlanta. And they, especially the dudes, they all say the same freaking thing about these hoes. These bitches just want some money. Okay, you go to the club and you try to talk to her, get out my face, lame a nigga. Okay. And I was just thinking, like, do they just do that to people because they used to him? This nigga was not from here and they did him like that. And that's how they be for real. All right. You got to pay to play. Niggas only been here for like 4 months and peeped that already. That should tell you something. Okay. 12 bitches to one nigga. All right, 12 bitches want some handouts. Okay, because we ain't in the social jump, nigga. We in the strip mall. Okay, so everybody was absolutely correct with every comment that was said. Now, whether or not women truly outnumber men doesn't matter. We know that they will still do that even if they did. Okay, they just can't, they're not reliable enough as a species to do what they're supposed to do. See, the man is the giver, the whore is the receiver. But since men idolize bitches forget that when you receive, you're supposed to give back. Okay, and that's all I got to say for this message. And this has been the Negro Ninja bringing you your Negro message for today. Negro out.